one of the most researched and most effective ways that we can help a student learn to communicate with augmentative communication is for them to get to see us and other people communicating in that way. But that's a little bit tricky because we are competent communicators, especially if you're an educator or a speech language pathologist. You're pretty used to being able to get across the message that you're trying to convey very easily. And when I ask you to begin to use augmentative communication to communicate, you're going to stumble. It's going to be messy and you're not going to like it very much. But that is the thing that we need to do the most in order to help our students learn to communicate using AAC. So just like our students, we're going to make it a little bit easier for you by simplifying the process, by giving you a simple and easy tool that you can use when you're communicating with your students as you're just getting started. So that's where our 18 location Quick Talk book comes into play. Now, this is not a robust AAC system. It is not a comprehensive communication system. It will not meet all of your needs to communicate. It will not allow you to order at Starbucks or to visit with your friends and share what's going on in your life. But it will let you begin to point to symbols when you communicate as you're talking to your students to say things like, I like what you're doing there. Do you want anything else? It's time for us to go. I'm going to take you through some of the options in this book that you can begin to use across your day. This little book has got messages that you can use no matter what activity you're doing in your classroom or what's going on in the classroom or outside in the school building. So as I said, our little book is not a comprehensive communication book, but it does have 144 words and phrases that you can use across any activity that you're doing in your classroom. So let's take a look at those messages. Our first 2 pages consist of core vocabulary words. Now, if you haven't encountered that term, core vocabulary, what that means is the most highly frequently used words in our language. There's about 200 to 400 that people typically teach first, because if you can learn to communicate these words, you can communicate about 80% of what you're trying to say. Now, it doesn't include things like fringe vocabulary or specific categories. It won't have people's names in it. It won't have names of places in it, those kind of common nouns and proper nouns. But it does have verbs and adjectives, so action words and adjectives that you're going to use the most in your day-to-day life. That's why this book is really helpful throughout the course of the day. The 36 words that we have chosen are the words that were identified by the Center for Literacy and Disability Studies at the University of North Carolina. So this is part of the Project Core work. They chose 36 words out of the 200 most frequent words. Now, these aren't the first words, but they are out of that 200 that they felt like would meet the needs in a classroom setting. So that's why we picked them, because we're primarily working in our classrooms. So you'll see things like, I like it. What do you want? Let's go get some more materials. You might say things like, it's time to go to the cafeteria. I need you to look at this book, right? We might say it's time to make something in our art class. I need you to do it for me. I can do it. Give me all of the pencils. So there's lots and lots of messages that go along with things that we talk about in our classrooms. In our math classes, we talk about things being the same and different. We compare and contrast. Those messages are all here on our core vocabulary page. The next page that you're going to encounter in your Quick Talk book is the Quick Talk messages. Now, these are words that you can use across environments for a very fast response or comment to someone that maybe just walks up to you. So the idea of this is that no matter what you're doing, you can stop and you can say something quickly to someone. So you'll see, of course, yes and no are the first 2 that are on our list, but we don't want to just stop at yes and no. We don't want to get caught up in asking too many yes/no questions to our students. Okay, so we also have things like, come here, all done. I don't know, I'm ready. Okay, oh, that's good or that's bad. Imagine someone walking into your room and saying, hey, we're gonna have a fire drill this afternoon. And you can go, okay, that's bad. Or wait a minute, I need to know what time that is. I'm ready, okay? So that's what our Quick Talk pages are. The next set of pages that we have are our social pages. Now, the idea of this is that a student can carry on a very quick social conversation. In this case, you will be able to talk to the student, or you'll be able to talk to the other adults in your room or around the classroom in a very simplistic manner so that you can carry on a several-part conversation. Again, we're not going to be talking about details. We're not going to be able to tell someone what we did over the course of the weekend, but we can carry on a very quick little social interaction that our student can watch us. Okay, so we can say things like, hi, how are you? How's it going? And then we can also comment back when the person says something to us. So if we say, how's it going? And the person says, oh boy, I had a terrible morning, I overslept. Then we can say to them, oh, that's too bad. No way, right? If they tell us something that's positive, oh, I'm doing great today. We went to the lake. We had a wonderful weekend. You could say, oh, that's really cool. We can also encourage the conversation to move forward by saying things like, what else? And we can encourage people to say more. So again, quick and easy conversations. The next page that we're going to look at is the page that allows us to express basic human needs. So you're going to see things, of course, like, I need to go to the bathroom. I need some help. Something hurts. I need a break. We want to model these. This is not for, remember, not for the students to use. It's for us to use, but we want to model these things for our student when they are not in a situation where they need to communicate these messages. When a student is just learning to communicate, if they have to use a communication system that's brand new to them, so pointing at symbols in a situation where they really need something, it's very hard under that level of stress to learn something new. So this is going to allow them to watch us say things like, oh, I need a break, and stopping for a minute. Or, oh, it hurts. I bumped my elbow. Maybe I can say things like, excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom. So we're going to give a model for these basic human needs outside of a situation where the student is under stress and needs to communicate it themselves. Our next page is all about feelings. So on this page, we're going to be able to say things like, I like it. Oh, I'm surprised. I'm happy. I'm frustrated. We're going to talk about being bored or scared to our students. Again, giving them a model for how to express these feelings and emotions. Our final page in our book, you'll see is on the back cover, is directives. Now, these are directions that we typically give to our students in the classroom. So there's going to be things like, I need you to come here. Let's use our quiet voice. It's time for everyone to line up, right? I need you to listen to me. Now, I don't want you to overuse these because we don't want to teach kids that communication is all about us telling them what to do or say. But it does give us an opportunity to make sure that our students hear what we're asking them to do and also see what we're asking them to do. That's going to make it much more likely for them to comprehend and follow the direction that we have. In our book, you're going to see a lot of different symbols. So there are symbols in here that are Mayor Johnson, board maker, picture communication symbols. That's what most of these are. And that's simply because we have a license for those symbols. Symbol sticks are also wonderful symbols. You can use the symbols that are in lesson picks if you're building your own books. But in our books, we use PCS symbols, again, because we have a license for them. But there are different types of them. You'll see some that are your more traditional ones that you've seen for years from Boardmaker Mayor Johnson. You'll also see high contrast symbols like this one. It has highly colored, high contrasting simple symbols to help our students who may have a visual impairment. Now, this is not perfect for a student that has a visual impairment, but again, we're starting to just teach them that pointing to a symbol while we're speaking is a way for us to communicate. So it doesn't have to be perfect for them, okay? You're going to see things like the thin line symbols. So some of them have thicker lines, some of them have thinner lines. The differences in these symbols is done by design. So we wanted to make sure that even if students aren't at a level of dealing with 36 pictures at one time or this particular size, they still may see something that looks familiar to them. This doesn't match their communication system. It is not going to teach them to use their communication system, but it may give them an idea that this is something similar to the way that they communicate. So that's about it. This is your quick start. This is your baby steps into using aided language input, modeling communication for your students. Give it a try. It's going to be messy. You're not going to like it. I'm going to tell you at first, but that's okay. It's okay for our students to actually see us learn too. They need to hear us talk it out when it's challenging. That's okay. That's all part of learning. So don't worry about making mistakes. Laugh it off, talk about it to your student, and keep on talking.